Well, we have been having just the best time. And Eva Marie is going to join us, even if I have to pop up her picture. But Eva Marie could not join me for this segment. So we're hoping that I can just bring her in another time and we can discuss. So we're with David Meinz, and he's been sharing the Super 7 vitamins for women. It's very interesting. And I know you're going to love this. We talked about heart disease. And now I've got some questions that I would like for David to answer, just about sweetener, coffee, exercise. Ta-da, there he is.
Hello.
Hello. So David, I love to get up in the morning. I know David stayed at our home, and I would, my coffee is pretty strong and I put stevia in it. And Thomas makes me use cream now, half and half or something. He says it's healthier. So what, am I doing it okay, wrong, right? Critique my coffee.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. I will tell you, they've looked all kinds of ways at coffee, and the results are looking pretty good on coffee. We don't see much negative at all. It seems to have a positive impact, maybe on decreasing risk of diabetes long term, maybe decreasing risk of Parkinson's disease. I have nothing bad to say about coffee, other than I don't like its addictive characteristic. A lot of people can't function without it, and that's what I don't care for. But of all the things that you can mess up on your diet, I'm going to put coffee toward the bottom of the list. I don't think there's a reason for you to stop drinking moderately. I will tell you, though, that the average American drinks about 3.5 cups of coffee a day, not 3.5 pots a day, cups a day. And if you're one of those people that's drinking a big quantity of coffee a day, 4 cups, 5 cups, 6 cups, if that's you and you find that stress is an issue in your life, it might not just be your circumstances, it might be the caffeine that you're taking in too. So I don't recommend going cold turkey. It's too tough if you've been a coffee drinker for a long time. But if you're drinking high quantities, it might be good for you to slowly get down to maybe 3 or 4 cups a day. That we would consider moderate, not more than that.
All right. So now I'm going to give you the solo spotlight to talk about soft drinks.
So soft drinks. The average American is drinking something like 40 or 50 gallons of soda a year. 40 or 50 gallons of soda a year. Can you imagine that? I don't hardly drink any soda, which means one of you out there is drinking my 40 or 50 gallons. And I think you know who you are. Now, I might have, a 7-Up with some friends at a party, but I don't have that many friends. So I'm not really drinking that much soda. If there's one thing people ask me about, David, when they hear me speak, they say, can you just bottom line, tell me one thing I can do to improve my health? I tell them to decrease their intake of sugared, bubbled, carbonated, caffeinated water. You know it as soda. If there's one thing you can do, decrease your amount of that. Now, is it better if it's diet soda? Well, that brings up the issue of artificial sweeteners too. Believe it or not, there's research that shows that people on diet soda gain more weight than people on regular soda. How can that be? There's no calories in there. How can that actually happen? Well, it turns out that artificial sweeteners we're not sure, may have an impact on the bacteria in your gut. You may be familiar with the term the gut microbiome. You have a city down in your intestine, mostly the large intestine, that actually sets up shop inside your body. And this is a good thing. You get they make vitamins for you. They help digest your food. They improve your immunity. They improve your mood, believe it or not. They do all kinds of good things for you as long as there's plenty of the good bugs. If the bad bugs take over, you can have all kinds of problems, not only digestive, but cardiovascular and maybe cancer and depression. And it's just amazing what we're learning about the importance of these bugs that live in your gut. And it turns out that artificial sweeteners probably cause your profile to go from more good to more bad bugs. That's why somebody drinking Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke or some diet soda that doesn't have any calories in it can still gain weight because there's bugs down there, bad bugs, that grab onto every calorie you eat and turn it into you. And there's good bugs that let some of the calories go by and you never absorb them.
Okay, now speaking of those, you know what I'm going to ask now, because we were at the root cellar in Batesburg, right across from you and your girlfriend's place of business.
Yeah.
Okay, because David, I'll just say David met the wonderful, iconic May Bazaar, has that wonderful little shop, and she's 94. And she just thought David was, I mean, she's back hitting on you, David. I didn't know if you picked up that hint, but she just thought you're the best.
You know, I've always been attractive to the women 80 plus age group. You know that.
Well, I want you, when you were sitting at the table with Al Walker and me, and we were handing you off, you had some interesting probiotics, prebiotics, and is it postbiotic?
You want to go there, Jane?
I just do, because I saw a Netflix documentary on it, and I said, who in their right mind would do this? No, I know. Listen, there's discussion about going that direction. Before we even go there, well, I'll let you take the stage again, okay?
Okay. So as we were talking about these bugs, you can refer to them as probiotics. And some of you may take these as a supplement, a probiotic supplement, and that's fine. Better, however, to take them in food, and they would be found in fermented food. And one of the best ones is probably sauerkraut. I don't like sauerkraut, but I'm eating it again, and I'm kind of getting used to it. And I put it on fish and chicken and maybe put some in salad and so forth, but it's a little acquired taste. But the fermentation process that goes on when you make sauerkraut or yogurt or cottage cheese creates these good bugs, and then you eat them and they get into your digestive system. By the way, your product cannot be pasteurized. If it's pasteurized, it pretty well wipes out those bugs. So it's important to find out in yogurt, for example, that it says contains live active cultures, not made with live active cultures, contains live active cultures. My understanding with cottage cheese is most cottage cheese, because of how it's processed, even though it was cultured originally, the good bugs are not there anymore because they have to pasteurize it. And then sauerkraut, again, you're looking for some that's non-pasteurized. You'll usually find that in the refrigerated section, not on the shelf that's just in a jar. So I get mine from the refrigerated section. That's not pasteurized. You're more likely to find the good bugs there. So we would like to get these probiotics in food if possible, in those fermented foods. Kefir, if you know what that is, a fermented kind of milk drink that I don't care for. Oh, they have some flavored ones, but they're loaded with sugar. What you want is the most disgusting tasting one, and that's the unflavored one. It's good for you, but I don't care for it. So I'll do sauerkraut instead. But I also take the pills, probiotic pills. Those are good. And then you need some food for those probiotics, and that's called a prebiotic. A prebiotic, I take this every morning. One of them is called inulin, I-N-U-L-I-N, inulin. Inulin is this fine powder. You mix it with a glass of water. It disappears. You don't see anything. You don't taste anything. But those bugs in your gut love this. They're having a picnic when you feed them this stuff. So I just drink that with some of my probiotics in the morning on an empty stomach. You don't want the digestive juices getting out of hand. So on an empty stomach, you do this. And then the thing that Jane really gets a kick out of making me talk about is a postbiotic. And this is relatively new, but you may have heard about this. It's a little bit uncomfortable to talk about. But it appears now that people that have digestive problems, one, for example, C. diff, you may have heard about, is a problem, a bacteria that causes ulcers in stomach. For years, we thought stomach ulcers were from stress, and that certainly may be a role. But this C. diff actually is a virus or a bacteria, whatever it is, that can cause ulcers in your stomach. And it's incredibly hard to get rid of. Medicines just don't knock it. What they've done now, believe it or not, is with this and some other intestinal issues, sorry, but this is the way it is. I hope you're not eating right now. They translate or transfer fecal matter, poop, from healthy people and put it into these people with these problems. Yes, that's right. And you thought your job was bad. Somebody has to do this every day. So they transfer it from that healthy person to the unhealthy person. Yes, that's right. They insert it, and the unhealthy people get better. Can you believe this? Who thinks of these things? I'm glad somebody thought of it. Well, the good news is they now are able to, instead of putting it up their back end, you can put it in the front end. They take the human waste, they desiccate it, they take the water out, they sanitize it. It is completely safe, and they take it from a very select group of people that have been studied up and down. These folks are really healthy, and they put it in a capsule. And I take one of those every day as well. And this is different than a probiotic. This is not a prebiotic. It's not a probiotic. It's a postbiotic. And what this does is it kind of tills up the garden of your intestine. Like if you're outside making a garden, these aren't the seeds. This isn't the fertilizer. It's the soil itself, if you will. And everything else becomes healthy when you transfer this healthy, fundamental part of the environment from a healthy person to one that could use some improvement. So that's what I do.
It's totally fascinating to me. And I saw the whole Netflix documentary on your gut health, and that definitely was a part of it. And it showed people miraculously getting well from horrible gut problems, because apparently we've taken so many drugs plus antibiotics, and our gut is not quite as healthy, and we're missing lots of those enzymes that are very powerful that can help us have better gut health. Am I saying that right, David?
Yeah, not just enzymes necessarily, but really the whole environment of the gut changes health to become healthier when you transplant it from somebody that's already healthy. That good environment kind of starts taking over for the sick person's environment, and now you can experience some good health.
Well, this has been wonderful. And, even Marie and I do this little show, Southern Mamas Be Like. And, growing up, and I know your mama was like this too. My mama was, you had to eat right. So that's why we're focusing on this, because now that we've learned so much and we can speak to an expert on the topic, we want to bring this to the folks that enjoy our little Southern Mamas Be Like show. So I got to hold you over for one more 10-minute segment. Can you do that? Because we haven't,
Sure.
I want to talk about cholesterol, because a lot of us take a statin, and you've discovered a wonderful statin drug. And another thing I want to talk about is resistance exercising, or just exercising for women. Is that okay? Just one more 10-minute segment, right?
Yeah, and can I also mention the website one more time? It's
please do. Yes.
10bonusyears.com. 10bonusyears.com. This is aimed at preventing, not treating, preventing the big killer of women and men in this country, and that's a surprise heart attack or stroke. If you go to 10bonusyears.com, you will watch a free 45-minute webinar hosted by me. I think you'll learn a lot. And then if that resonates with you, you can make a phone appointment with me, and we will talk about what your needs are. This is on cardiovascular health and what maybe the man in your life's needs are. It's aimed at men, but women are welcome in the program as well. And then we'll talk and see if we might be a fit. This is a 6-month program that I offer. This is the best of everything I do. Hopefully you've learned a couple things just from these couple short programs that Jane and I have done. But if you can imagine, in 6 months, we can really turn people's health around, and especially decrease their risk of the big killer.
And David, this is brand new. You've just launched this.
Launched this.
Yeah. Because we've been hearing about it, because you and I are in a mastermind group. We need to meet some more. And we've talked about it. And I was trying to get you on. He said, wait till the beginning of the year. So we're into almost March now, and you just launched it. So, and you've had great success with it. The people that want to, let's face it, a lot of us are getting to that age where we're slowing down, maybe not retiring, because I think it's important to have outside interest continuing whether you're getting a paycheck or not. And that's another good topic. But I do think that we all want to enjoy it. I mean, I don't know about you, but like Thomas and I were on a cruise, and this is probably I'm going over again. We were on a cruise. We got behind people, and they got that buffet, and they waddled up the steps, waddled down the steps, and it was almost depressing. You just look at other people, and you don't mean to be judgmental or anything, but people are in such poor health. And it's because they just don't take care of themselves.
In my book, I don't know if I mentioned I have a book called 10 Bonus Years. And books by David.net. But I will say, we talk about 10 steps to gain you 10 extra healthy years of life. And one of them, to your point, Jane, is having a reason to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have to work anymore for a paycheck, but you've got to have a reason to get up, because when people don't have a reason to get up anymore, their body starts cooperating with them.
Yeah.
And what you have to realize is that retirement sounds really good, not having to do the daily grind. But if you plan on watching Wheel of Fortune for the next 25 years, you probably won't make it for 25 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you want to do. It doesn't have to be socially significant. It just has to be important for you to get you excited. If that's in your garden or if that's building houses for humanity, it doesn't matter what it is, just so it gets you enthused.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to come back for one more little segment on exercise, okay? And cholesterol. That's what I want to pick your brain on. All righty.